It's for real. It's happening. Welcome to episode 1 of RanjhaSeason. I'm your host, Ranja, aka Japjot, aka Daddy Jot, aka your host, your Gurdwara daddy. I don't know what I should call my followers, my Kanmishris. But that being said, I want to talk about what RanjhaSeason is all going to be about. It's a kickback, relaxed episode, and everything here is just going to be organic growth. Whatever you guys want to listen to or you want me to talk about, that's what I will replicate and discuss on this podcast. So I'm always free to any suggestions, anything you want to hear about. You can always message me on my Instagram. It's Japjot. My Twitter, Snap is Jap. There's also going to be a link to a YouTube video, which aren't really a video. It's just a blank screen of the same podcast because I'm too ugly to be in front of a screen right now. I will work on that. If that's what you guys want to see, maybe me in front of a camera discussing or talking. So that's something that really depends on your comments and your suggestions. Again, so it's totally organic. Whatever you want to hear, whatever you want to talk about or see, I'm open to all discussions. So episode 1, I wanted to make it something fun, something interesting that everybody I think can relate to or some way has been impacted by this person. This person has taken the Punjabi industry by storm. He only dates girls that are 5'11". So if you're under that radar, just hop out of this man's Dil Mill account. Forget Dil Mill. I think you should make an account called Dil Dani Mara. Match with anybody who has a good heart. Because this man really out here doing his thing. Doesn't sing about any drugs or any alcohol. All his music is pure. Let alone some of that little violence action. But who cares about that? Gandasa Chakra Penda. That's what it is. Because of this man, I stopped eating roti for a week until my mom bought some karpanna that I can eat off of, because if he does it, then I have to do it too. This man is a legend. Never have you seen memes be made of somebody the way they have been made about this person. This man came into Canada as a student and made a huge impact. Let alone that, this man was ahead of his time. His name is a national animal. So his parents already knew the pin that he was born in, he's going to come into Canada. If even before that, you go to season 3, episode 8 of Arthur, like the TV show for little kids, you see Moosewala standing in the president's office. That's how much of the impact this man has on the community and in the industry as a whole. You know, you're going to the gym, you listen to this guy. You're going on a road trip, you listen to this guy. You wake up, you listen to this guy. You're about to go gun some people down, you listen to this guy. You're going to your boring 9-to-5 job and you want to get amped up, you listen to this guy. You're driving 3 a.m. back from Toronto with the CN Tower in the back. You're going to a wedding. You're going to a funeral. You're listening to this guy. You probably know who I'm talking about. It's Sidhu Moosewala. Dil da nahi mara. Sidhu Moosewala. Tera Sidhu Moosewala. Tera Sidhu Moosewala. So that's right. Episode 1. You already know it's about Sidhu Moosewala. Not Simi Chaho. So the reason I chose Sidhu Moosewala was, one, I love his music. I enjoy it from the first time I heard G-Wagon. I was really hoping this guy would not be a one-hit wonder. And I didn't even know who he was, but I just felt like I was so invested in his success that it had to be done. So I'm really glad that he's reached the peaks that he has and keeps on going above and beyond. And the point in time where I knew he would have such an impact on the industry was when even my dad was quoting some of his lines and were telling those to me. That's where I knew there was a generation gap that had been closed just by one singer, right? And at that point, even my friend, she got me a Sidhu Moosewala air freshener because he's fresh as F, and you can't be rolling around without a Sidhu Moosewala air freshener. So if you ever need a Sidhu Moosewala air freshener, hit her up anytime because we keep it fresh, we keep it locked, just like his music. And the funniest thing about the air freshener is I have it in my windshield, of course, and it's pretty much a cutout of Moosewala's face. And one of my co-workers, 2 of them were walking together. One's Italian, the other one's Portuguese, I think, and they're walking, and the Italian guy's like, "What's that in like your mirror?" Right? The guy's like, "Be sensitive, that could be like his gods or something like that." Like, he has a picture of him, and I just couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, these guys really calling this man a god, a legend, and in a way he is. So I kind of explained to him who Moosewala was, and we played some of the music, and we just jammed out and went on a little road trip. So this guy is not only closing generational gaps, he's closing gaps between cultures and communities. And I don't think there's many artists out there that can really do that. And I just want to say that not all my podcasts are going to be about artists or Punjabi music, but what I really want to do is do a deep dive into his lyrics and discuss how his lyrics have an impact and how they can motivate you in becoming a better person, a better human, and just tackling your goals and your ambitions. This man has it all. If you listen close enough to his lyrics, the message is really right there, and all I'm going to do is dissect some of it, maybe some funny parts that I found. So Carlo Vod, speaker on the side, because we're about to go in. All right, song number 1 is going to be Legend, just by the man himself, the legendary Sidhu Moosewala. So let's have a listen and we'll dissect the lyrics. So right there, we know that Sidhu Moosewala is establishing that he is not a car, but a legend. So nobody can move him to the side. He is a moose. So a moose versus a car, a moose would win every single time. Hence, he is a legend. So thank you, Moosewala, for establishing that you are not a vehicle. You are not a car, but an animal. So get out your moose bumpers, because this man is ramming right into you with his music and his beats. So part 2 that I really like about that song is right here. So take a listen. So basically, the life lesson that I take from each of his songs, or even especially in this one here, is that it's all about quality over quantity, be it in your work, the art that you do, the friends that you have, the time that you spend with individuals. Don't think like, oh, I spent 3 hours with this person, but were there quality times? Were you just sitting on your phone and not even listening to the other person, what they're saying? Or when you're studying, are you just flipping through the pages, or are you actually analyzing and taking in everything that you're reading? So just like Musa spends all his time on his lyrics and his music, instead of just dropping 20 songs, 20 beats out there, he works on his craft, makes one. And I think that's really important. And I think I take the same aspect to my Instagram captions. You know, it's all about what mood you're in. I can drop 30 different pictures or 30 different captions, but it depends on what I'm feeling at that moment. I just write it out and I just let it go. And I think a lot of us suffer from the fact that we just want to put out quantity, and the quality is just not there. So let's change our mindsets into working on quality over quantity. So that was song number 1. Let's hop into song number 2, which is Dollar, or Dollar in the Punjabi, if you put the accent on it. So let's hear what Musa has to say about Dollar. So this man's spitting facts right here. He's pretty much saying that forget USD, forget Canadian, forget Australian dollars, forget pounds, forget euros. It's all about that Moosewala foreign exchange fund. If your man's out here saying I'm an investment banker or I trade stocks, bonds, screw that stuff. Leave that man. You need to get on that Moosewala currency, because you will be left behind if you're not on it. And Bitcoin is struggling right now. So it's all about that Moosewala foreign exchange. Hop on it. And I can attest to it. It really works. I went to Asian Food Center, bought some atta. It was $11.99 Canadian. I told them, you know what? I'm paying with moose dollars. They gave that thing to me right away for free. So I don't know if I robbed the place or what. But Musa, I'm sending you the bill for that one. So it's $11.99 Canadian. I don't know what the foreign exchange is on moose dollars right now, but that shit's really popping. So you better hop in and invest in the Moose Flex. All right, song number 3, which makes me sad that there's no Lil singers out there that are really on the scene, because this song has made every Sidhu happy out there. Sidhu's anthem, I'm a kakirang boy. So here Musa is pretty much saying that his chest is wider than the border. So Trump's out here trying to build a wall with Mexico. Screw that shit. Just line up a bunch of Moosewala chests and you're good to go. There's nobody hopping that border. I just saved you about $20 billion in investment. You can wire that stuff over to me, of course, in the Moose funds, because we're closing that border down with Moosewala chests. This is also not an endorsement of Donald Trump or any of his policies, but I'm just laying out the facts out there. If you're going to transfer me $20 billion, I can give you ideas. All right, now that I got 20 billion Moose funds in my account, let's hop into song number 4, Dojun. This pretty much translates literally into this farmer is a fan of tractor pulls, and if you get stubborn, I'm gonna pull you with my tractor. So I don't know even how to explain this to you. So I guess don't be stubborn with a moose, because he'll hop on a tractor and pull you ASAP. So if you spend too much time doing your makeup, you're not getting ready, and you're getting late for the function, just watch out. If you hear that tractor start pulling, thoda ta kam ho gaya. And if you're thinking that's borderline domestic abuse, it's possible, but I think the next part of this song really establishes that there's something weird going on. He just said that he keeps his soul like the Taliban. So I don't know, Moose, I love you, but we can't be out here supporting Al Qaeda and Taliban. Like, what does that even mean? Like a Taliban mindset? Like, we just want to blow stuff up. People that disrespect you, it's gonna blow them up like a bomb. Like, don't get on that most wanted list, that black fly list. You got too many shows, too many concerts to be going to be blacklisted. Just watch out, man. The US is always snooping out songs. They may even hear this, especially if we're trying to invade Area 51 for those aliens. We can't have you blacklisted. We gotta put on a show for those guys. You know, Moose out here helping these aliens get loose. So Area 51, watch out. September 20th, the raid's happening. Moosewala is leading the charge. Leave these Naruto running mans in the back. We're about to party out. You know, Jata da Makavla. Zasmeno kitte mera alien da Makavla. Foreign UFO ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਉੱਡ ਕੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਜੱਟ ਦਾ ਮੁਕਾਬਲਾ. All right, that's done. You know what? I think that should just transition right into Jat da Muqabla, which pretty much translates to tell me where the farmers' competition's at. And I think that's the way you should face everything with confidence in life. You know, no matter what comes in your way, whatever happens, you just gotta stand up. You have to be who you are. You have to be real to yourself. And you know, tackle it. Life throws curveballs at you. Otherwise, it would not be called life, you know? And that whole aspect, if there's a flat line, that means you're dead. But if your heart rate is going up and down, that means you're alive. And that's how life is. It goes up and down. And if you just got to embrace every part of it, the downs get really low and the peaks get really high. And you know what? It's those memories that you have to hold on to at the peaks when you're all the way at the bottom, because everybody goes through it. We have so many instances where, like, on Instagram, social media, you always see people posting about how happy they are, and you may compare yourself to those things. Say, why don't I enjoy parties a certain way, or why do I not feel happiness the same way these people do? But you gotta realize that what people are posting on social media is just their highlight reel, right? You're not seeing their whole movie. You're just seeing their teaser, and they're only putting the best part of their life. And I've seen this firsthand. Like, I saw a girl at a party once, and she was just in the corner the whole night. And then at one point, she made a Snapchat or something for 10 seconds. And I went home, I saw her Snapchat, and it looked like she was having the time of her life. She was hopping in, and I guess she just faked it for those 10 seconds just for social media. But the real fact was she was just standing in the corner all bored and like just isolating herself from everybody else. So don't compare yourself to these kind of things. Just face them head on. If a farmer can do it, so can you. And this farmer goes into song number 6, I believe, called Self-Made. And I think that this song really talks about the essence that don't burden yourself with saying that, oh, XYZ got popular, XYZ is famous because of their relative, or because they're well off, they're rich, they're established. Yes, those things can be catalysts that help you get to certain points in your life and project you that much faster. But something that you do by yourself, something that you achieve by yourself, nobody can really put a claim to it. You're not in debt to anyone. You did it yourself. That's all on you. Think about that kid who goes around in his dad's Ferrari. Is like, oh, I created this business, I did this. No, they didn't. You know that. They know that. They're just putting up this false front that they've achieved all this. But it's really their dad, their father, their brother, their cousin, their mother. But when you do something yourself, you feel that sense of pride, and that's what Moosewala is channeling right here. So there's a whole pride in being self-made. Like, that's why you see on Forbes list, you know what, first self-made billionaire or anything of that nature, is because when you do it on your own, there's nothing like it. Nobody can replicate it. Nobody can duplicate it. And when nobody can duplicate it, you have no fear. There's no competition. You are it. And you know that if you made it once, you can make it again if anybody ever takes you down. And then this hops into point number 2 that Moosewala really makes, that he's so versatile that he's actually becomes metal and loha. And so he's become a moose, he's become a car, he's become a foreign exchange, and now he's a piece of metal. So this is a fun fact. The loha of Moosewala was actually used to build the CN Tower. That's why was one of the tallest freestanding buildings. Moosewala himself carved off parts of his arms and legs to donate that steel of moose to build the CN Tower, and it became an icon on the Toronto skyline. And you know what? Internationally, it's the 7th wonder of the world, and we have Moosewala to thank for that. After creating the CN Tower, Moosewala decided to go even higher with this song, So High, song number 7. And this song, I really like it because it just tells you to go above and beyond everybody else and anything else. So let's take a listen right here. So it's all about keeping that mindset above everybody else. You know, you should have such a high mindset, such great thoughts and ideas that it makes other people afraid, or they can't even understand the point that you're making because you're beyond those conversations with other people. It's like there's this great picture of a cheetah and a couple of dogs in a dog race, and they're trying to see if what's faster, a cheetah or a dog. And these dogs start running, and the cheetah is still sitting in his cage. And somebody asks, why is the cheetah still in his cage? And the response is, you know what? Sometimes when you know you're the best, you don't even have to prove it to others. It's actually more embarrassing to prove yourself to some people because they're just not on that mindset, not the same approach as you. So you don't have to always lower yourself or get out and explain what you want to do or what you're doing, because people will just try to lower you down, bring you down, tell you the parts where you're going to fail or how everything can go wrong. So you just want to keep that positive mindset, and So High is all about that. And Moosewala pretty much closes this song off with the perfect line. So I'm going to close this song number 7 with this line right here too. So where other people stop thinking or stop believing, that's where you gotta pick up and you gotta start from where they let go. Their ending is just your beginning to success and your dreams and your ambition. So don't stop just because everybody else is telling you that it's gonna fail. Imagine if Steve Jobs or any of these great inventors just stopped. Like KFC, you hear this man failed 1,000 times before he became successful at the age of 60, or the founder of Alibaba, who's a multi-billionaire now, couldn't even get a job at the basic level of, I believe it was KFC or Wendy, and his job got rejected. So if he became disheartened or just gave up everything, he would not have changed the e-commerce industry the way he did. So just keep on achieving your goals and your ambitions. So song number 8, I'm not going to even play it because I'm afraid of ghosts, and it's called Devil. And Moosewala pretty much goes into the fact of saying that you just don't mess with the devil or anything of the supernatural because you don't know what the outcomes will be. And I 100% agree. I will never play with a Ouija board. You can never pay me enough to play with a Ouija board because you can't fight the devil or the ghost. You can't punch it. You can't outrun it. There's no way. You don't risk it for the biscuit to mess with the devil. And Moosewala's right. I would not fight a ghost. And if a moose is telling you not to fight with the ghost or mess with the ghost or the devil, you listen to the damn moose because he knows what he's talking about. Song number 9, it's all about you. And girl, this song is really all about you because I got lost in your eyes and there's nowhere else I want to be. But I found a particularly funny part in the song that I think it scares every single girl out there. So let's play it and relive your horror story right here. So pretty much he's saying that if you don't agree to marry me, I'm going to force that marriage on you. So think about it. Every girl's nightmare. You finished university. You just graduated. Your parents are saying, your ticket's already booked to India. Mom, dad already found you someone. It's bubbly from the pinned. who you've been rejecting his DMs for the last 3 months, where he says, "Hello, Madam G, good morning." Now that's your future husband. And good luck helping him pass his IELTS exams, because you are done. So next time you see me DMing you, don't ignore it. Save yourself from bubbly. I got you. Song number 10, Outlaw by Moosewala. This man goes in once again. Let's hear it. So right here, Sidhu Moosewala is talking about none other than the Area 51 invasion that we're working all out on. The revolution is to get these aliens out there and finally topple the lying government of the United States, because we all know the aliens do exist, and we're coming to get them out. And we already know the aliens are Jat, because they've been farming the planet to finally come here, and they're ready to do some kheti badi, and the US government's just not letting them do that. So Moosewala has taken upon himself to awaken the revolution in all of us to help these aliens come out, and we're just gonna party out with them. Just imagine the music that they would drop, just the beats. Like, Big Bird is a bird, right? And he's dropping all these sick beats. Now imagine an alien. Like, aliens fly higher than birds, so these beats are just gonna be out of this world, no pun intended, because that's what they do. They're aliens. Beep bop beep boop 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 bop boop boop. Like, just fire. Agbota, major fire, Let's go into song number 11, Bad Fella. And Moosewala pretty much is saying that he's not racist. This Moose loves everyone. Everybody's welcome. Gore kare. You're black or you're white. Moosewala is out here creating that bond that every culture could come together and enjoy music, enjoy life. And that's what multicultural is all about. Moosewala is really the symbol of Canada. So Gore Kare with him everywhere he goes or everywhere he stands. There's no stopping it. And then we go into song number 12. I'm just going to pick it up here. You know what? Funny thing is, when I started this podcast, I felt like it'd only be 2 or 3 minutes long because I wouldn't have anything to talk about. But just like my big lips, I have a big mouth that doesn't stop talking. So maybe it's a good thing I got into this podcast business. Song number 12 is a Jat Ikvari Hor, pretty much DJ Khaled saying, one more? What did he say? Ikvari Hor. I forget what DJ Khaled says because I listened to Sonny Malton say it so many damn times that there's something close to it that DJ Khaled says. You probably already know it, so I'm going to stop rambling on about it. But the line that I found interesting wasn't even by Moosewala himself. It was by Sonny Malton. Let's take a look. So I don't know if this is a Jat complex that Sonny Malton's having right here, but he has to explain it twice that he is indeed Jat. So he pretty much takes one of the most predominant last names in being in a Jat caste and then says, pretty much saying farmer is a farmer because everybody knows Sidhu's a Jat. And then he says, Sidhu and the Munda Jat. Like, come on, we get it. Jatan, Jat squared, Jat quadrupled to the power of X. Okay, Apavi Jata, Jat Bandya. You don't hear me saying Jat this, Jat that. So enjoy it because I enjoy it as I troll my mustache. Next, we have song number 13, East Side Flow. And you know what? This song really hits me hard when I was making this podcast because I was, want to get out of the cycle of every day is the same. You know what? You do the same boring thing every single time you get home or when you wake up in the morning. Nothing changes in life, and the only way things can change in your life is if you want it to change. So East Side Flow is all about that. Let me find the song right here. Let me tune it out for you. And the song, it tells the truth. You can't sit at home and say like, I want to do this, I want to do that. But if you don't take any action or make a difference, nothing will get done. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome every single time. And Moosewala is pretty much saying you're either insane or you gotta go out there and do something with your brain. You're probably using your brain and you're saying, this guy's made the magi khai janda. Where do I self-improve? Where do I get better in this podcast? And I think that really starts with the song number 14, Just Listen. Self-realization is really important. Realizing where you're making your mistakes, where you can improve. Nobody is the best in everything. Once you think you're the best in anything is when you're going to fail. The people that become the top of their game or their industry or anything it is that they do is to keep on consistently learning and improving upon themselves. So let's hear it. And then he goes right into talking about if you do something with hate or anger, like if that's a mindset you keep, everything you do will have the wrong consequences or it will lead to the wrong decision. If you don't cool off your mind and think about things rationally, you'll regret it. Just like in a moment of anger, you may say something really hurtful to your friend or a loved one, and 2 seconds later you snap out of it and you realize that you just really hurt this person. And if those 2 seconds of anger you could brought it back, you wouldn't have to feel this guilt and this sorrow, and the other person wouldn't have to feel this hurt that you just provided to them, because you let your anger and your hate overcome your common sense. And then in the latter half of this song, I think Moosewala talks about something that we learn about our whole lives. Like, don't judge a book by its cover. You really got to know somebody or that individual. A lot of people assume a lot of things about me. They think, this guy drinks, he smokes, he's always partying. He's an F-boy with all his captions or the way he posts or the way he takes pictures. But until you get to know the person, right, you will never understand who they are. Like, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't think I'm an F-boy, even though my captions or the way I talk sometimes may make you think otherwise. You really just gotta get to know the person, sit down with them, have a conversation instead of labeling them or make your own decision of what other people talked about, because there's so many different versions of you out there. You can't let that one version be the one that everybody sees. So you got to present yourself in a better light, and on the other side of the coin, you have to give the chance for others to present themselves to you in a different light, and you have to make your judgment yourself. So don't judge a book by its cover, and just go out there and take on life as it is. And song number 15, this one cuts deep, I think, and it affects everybody in their life. It's all about modern relationships. Modern day relationships have changed from what they used to be for our parents or our grandparents. Now it's, if you don't text back right away, or you don't talk to somebody for a couple of weeks, you're off on vacation, you come back, this person totally forgets about everything you've done for them or how much you care for them, because we live in a society where consistent and constant attention is craved and is needed. And if we don't give that, or we don't provide that, or we don't share that with our significant other, they just get up and leave, or they crave it for somebody else, or they take it from somebody else. So long are the days of writing letters and waiting 2 months for a response back. Those days are gone, and it's kind of sad that we can't have those relationships that our parents had, or people that you may know of that waited months on end to hear a letter or any news, and they still kept that love for each other alive, even though the distance kept them apart. But the more communication we have nowadays, I feel the more distant we've become. Like, if 2 seconds later somebody doesn't respond to your text, you're like, shit, what happened? What's wrong? Are they cheating on me? Are they talking to somebody else? Usually they respond, they must be talking to that other girl, he liked her picture yesterday. And we get into our own minds and our own heads, and that really messes a lot of things up. And so let's hear Moosewala discuss it right here. So I love this different side of Moosewala, where he goes in from being this whole gangster type person to somebody who becomes so sensitive and discusses real facts. Sometimes we get to a point where we can't even show our emotions anymore because we become so drained from crying, can't even cry anymore. We can't even carry on discussions. You don't want to talk, you don't want to eat. And just cutting somebody off cold turkey can really do that to you. And I think Moosewala captures that essence perfectly, which leads into, I think, one of my most favorite songs, Dark Love by Moosewala. And it's such a reflection on so many things. Like, this song talks about a man who has no regard for life, doesn't enjoy life, doesn't appreciate it, doesn't love it. And then all of a sudden, this girl comes into his life and he gives up everything, gives away his murderous ways, his corrupt ways of killing individuals and everybody else out there. And the person that he loves, this idea that he loves, is the idea that kills him at the end of the day, right? And the music video, if you haven't seen the music video, I highly suggest it, for Dark Love by Moosewala. And it talks really about karma. Karma comes back. It's always there. It's always watching. And life will become a full circle once karma gets this opportunity. Sometimes it's not the same hour. Sometimes it's not the next day. Sometimes it's not the next year. But karma does find its way of balancing the world out. And you can't escape it. It will always be there. And Moosewala, with this music shoot, I don't know who the director is, but shout out to the director for doing what they did on this music video. And Moosewala, for the whole song, the idea, I can go on forever. I think you're right, S's on this song, because it captures so many complex issues and ideas in a matter of like 4 minutes. And you know what? That's why I think it's one of his best works out there, and I would enjoy many more songs like Dark Love out there. I think it's one of his most popular songs too. So these are some few snippets that I really liked in the song that I think kind of discuss what I just went on about. So that part really hits home. I think once we become kind of cornered into a dark spot, we start trying to make these promises, these bets that we want to change, or we'll do better, or, you know, God, if you give me this, I promise I'll go pray every Sunday or whatnot. And it just sucks that man or society has to be cornered down to a certain point where they start making these promises. And I don't think we should take away from the song that, you know, once you're bad, that you can't change. There's no way of escaping it. I think everybody does pay for what they've done in life, but being a better human being should just be a motivation overall. It shouldn't be something that, oh, I'm a good human being because I fear the consequences. Just be a good human being overall. If you need a motivation to be a good human being, the motivation should be that there is somebody watching, there is something that's going to come back, and it may haunt you one day. And then once that happens, there's no going back. No matter what you repent or what you say, it can't be undone. And Moosewala catches that pretty well. And that leads me, I think I said the last song would be my last song, but this would be the last song right here, Death Route by Moosewala, one of his earlier works. It's all about, you know what, get it done today because you don't see tomorrow. And that's what I'm telling myself right now while I'm recording this. I might actually edit this tomorrow. I know I'm not taking the words that I'm saying seriously here, but it is getting kind of late and I'm not a night owl. But this would be the last song, Death Route by Moosewala. So let's get to it. I think I say let's get to it, or let's hear it, or let's do it too often. I will work on that for the next podcast. Let me just try to load this up. Alright, let's hear it. There you have it. Moosewala said it himself. You don't know if tomorrow's going to come or go. What can be done today should be done today. Just like the Nike sign, just do it. Don't stop. Don't let your fears hold you back from doing what you want to do. And that's it, guys. That's RanjhaSeason episode 1 in the books. I just want to say thank you for listening throughout the whole podcast. It's been a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot of things about how to record and everything like that. I'm still working on it. Again, it's all about organic growth. This message me what you liked, what you disliked. All criticism is welcome all the time. Say you love it, say you hate it. I just want to hear it. That way you can improve. You know what? Because at the end of the day, it's you're investing your time to listen to this podcast. And if it's not something you enjoy, then we can just work together and make it better. Again, the Instagram, Japjot Lail, JAPJOTLAIL. Twitter, Snap is Jap. SoundCloud, of course, you're listening to it. It's RanjhaSeason. YouTube is also called RanjhaSeason. And thank you once again for listening. I'm going to end it off by saying the same thing I say all the time. Say no to drugs and alcohol. And I'll see you on episode 2. Ranja out.